Former AEW Executive Vice President and current undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes says that AEW would have never happened without him and says he could never root against them despite apparent shots made against him and his wife in recent press conferences. All of the details on that, plus Tony Khan has opened up on his current power struggle with the Elite on AEW TV and teased who could be in charge tonight on AEW Dynamite. We have the ratings for Monday's edition of Raw, of course, night 2 of the WWE Draft. Wes Lee makes a surprise return last night at NXT Spring Breaking Night 2. The latest tease from Uncle Howdy actually took place last night on NXT. We've also got an update on how the first ever NXT Women's North American Champion is going to be crowned. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate make a surprise appearance last night at Spring Breaking. And Dijak, he's been drafted to Raw, but he's still yet to re-sign with WWE. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off with some interesting comments made by the American Nightmare, former AEW EVP and current undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Now, Cody Rhodes has been asked about his thoughts on AEW. Of course, the American Nightmare famously helped start the rival WWE promotion. He was a huge star there, an EVP. He held the TNT Championship. He was the first ever AEW TNT Champion, holding the title 3 times. He departed AEW in 2022 and made his return to WWE, where he has since headlined 2 WrestleManias and is the current and brand new undisputed WWE Champion. Now, Rhodes spoke about helping create AEW during a recent interview on Cheap Heat with Peter Rosenberg. Despite his departure, he says that he'll always root for AEW to succeed, adding that the promotion would not exist without him. But he also, when saying about not rooting against him, did say sometimes it can be difficult with what people say in recent press conferences. Take a look.
I would never root against them in any case. And that's not always easy because there's random things said about you at press conferences, and that's a big no-no. You should never say me or my wife's name. Tony should have told you that. The narrative changed a lot about my contributions to AEW, and that was very disappointing. There were some people, I'm not going to say their names, they know who they were, who kind of tried to put some propaganda out when I left. There's a quote in the Young Bucks book about how I was last to the signing, and me and Matt and Nick are as close as ever, and I'm so glad that I've had them in my career and my life. But if we are being honest, AEW does not happen without me. It doesn't, and with that in mind, I could never root against it. It's like having a kid and they go off to college and you get a DUI or they get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like
you're like, what? Why are you dating this person? Why are you
right? Like I'll always have that in my heart for them. It certainly was a wound that was more gaping and painful than people realize, because now they look at the situation and they're like, oh man, you're on top of the world. You have everything. Maybe they don't understand that I really gave everything I could.
So what do you make of Cody Rhodes' comments there about AEW? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, of course, it's Wednesday. That means a brand new episode of AEW Dynamite tonight live on TBS. And Tony Khan has opened up on the current power struggle between himself and the Elite on AEW TV and who could be the authority figure tonight live on Dynamite. Tony Khan says the Elite has ignited a power struggle in AEW and the company plans to have a new highest ranking official on site for tonight's AEW Dynamite. Of course, the Elite shocked the pro wrestling world last Wednesday by attacking Tony Khan one night before his participation in the 2024 NFL Draft. The Jacksonville Jaguars executive generated a ton of media attention for a neck brace he wore at the draft to sell the effects of the attack he sustained on television. Now, during an interview with Scott Fishman for TV Insider, Khan said how lucky he is to work with the NFL and appreciates all the concern about his condition. He said that he wouldn't be present for Wednesday's Dynamite from Winnipeg, but he's worked remotely in the past throughout the pandemic. The big question is who will be on top of the totem pole in his absence. He said, quote, "We all have experience working outside the office. During the lockdown, we got to used to meetings on Teams and Zoom. I'll still be overseeing AEW and managing the show remotely. As for who to the highest ranking official on site. Stay tuned Wednesday. It will certainly be addressed this week on TBS, the power struggle that is happening in AEW. So what do you make of this? Do you think it's going to be a case of Kenny Omega? He's set to return tonight on AEW Dynamite. Is he going to be the highest ranking official, or is it going to be someone else? Let me know your thoughts about that and predictions in the comment section below. Now, we have the ratings for Monday's edition of Raw. Of course, it was night 2 of the WWE Draft. And the Raw Draft episode against strong competition held up better in the ratings than SmackDown did, averaging 1.69 million viewers and drawing a 0.55 rating in the 18 to 49 demographic. Raw was fourth on cable for the evening, beating everything but the NBA on TNT. The Celtics vs Heat game against the first 2 hours did 2.69 million viewers and a 0.83 in the 18 to 49 on TNT. The Lakers Nuggets game against hour 3 did 3.96 million viewers and a 1.30 and another 568,000 viewers and a 0.23 on True TV. Inside the NBA also beat Raw, although it was on after Raw, with Raw being second in the time slot. Now, in terms of what else happened on the show, of course, we can get into that in just a second, but Raw was up 5% in viewers and 5% in the 18 to 49 from last week. The high points of the show, seemingly, were the 2 segments involving CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Let's get into the quarter-hour ratings. These come courtesy of WrestleNomics. Shout out to them, and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. As you can see right there, even though the competition was much stronger than last year, Raw was down 5% in viewers and up 3% in the 18 to 49 from the same week last year. The show grew strongly in hour 2 and hour 3 while falling even against the Lakers game. It wasn't far behind hour 1. Raw beat every show on network television. Below Deck on Bravo at a 0.19 was the second highest rated entertainment show as well. For total viewers for the night, Raw was 14th behind 3 NBA-related shows and 10 news shows as well. So what do you make of the numbers for Raw this week? What do you make of the competition that both, I guess, every pro wrestling show is facing at the moment? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Now, let's talk about NXT Spring Breaking from last night, because certainly a surprise return for former NXT North American Champion Wes Lee. Former NXT North American Champion Wes Lee made a surprise return to the brand during the second night of NXT's Spring Breaking special. Lee's music hit following current champion Obafemi's match, where he retained his title in a hard-hitting match against Ivar of the Viking Raiders. Lee came down through the crowd and jumped from the barricade to the ring steps to get into the ring to stare down Femi. Lee has been on the injured list since December of last year with a significant back injury that required surgery. At the time of the injury, Lee was the #1 contender for the North American Championship and was set to face then-champion Dominic Mysterio at Deadline. He announced in December he would be unable to compete for the foreseeable future, and it was later revealed that he would be out of action for 8 to 12 months. Lee shared a video of himself getting back in the ring in March. So seemingly, again, he's been able to recover much quicker, significantly quicker than previously expected. Now, did you spot it last night? Because we have a brand new QR code for Bo Dallas / Uncle Howdy that aired, interestingly, for the first time on NXT television. Now, the Uncle Howdy mysteries continued on last night's episode of NXT as a QR code led to another video. As you can see right there, during a match, the QR code flashed on the screen. Previously, we've seen them on the likes of Raw and SmackDown, but now we've seen them on NXT. Here's what the QR code led to.
The night bird calls and shadows come into my mind, into my mind, into my mind, into my sleep, into my mind.
Now, the NXT Women's North American Championship. We've got more details on this as well. The NXT Women's North American Championship was announced by NXT General Manager Ava back at the beginning of April at the brand's Stand and Deliver Premium Live event on WrestleMania 40 weekend. It's now been revealed how the first Women's North American Champion will be crowned. Ava made another announcement on Tuesday's episode of NXT where she said a winner will be determined in a ladder match at NXT Battleground, which will take place at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas on Saturday, June 9. Ava explained that the women's roster will compete in a combine starting next week, and the top 12 stars who stand out will move on to qualifying matches. The 6 women who win the qualifying matches will be in the ladder match. OTM's Jada Parker made her way down to the ring to say she's confident enough to be in the combine. She was followed by Sol Ruka and then Ariana Grace. The next woman to throw her name in the combine was SmackDown star Michin, who started a fight by going after Grace. The women's locker room emptied out and a brawl ensued. The NXT Women's North American Championship will be the second women's title on the brand, second to the NXT Womens Championship. The NXT Women's Tag Team Championships were unified with the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships back in June 2023. We spoke about Michin then, a main roster star appearing during the segment. It wasn't the only main roster talent to appear last night because we saw Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne make their returns to NXT as well. NXT Tag Team Champions Nathan Frazer and Axiom got a little main roster help from the New Catch Republic to retain their titles against the Authors of Pain on NXT's Spring Breaking special last night. The champions were up against Akam and Razar with Karrion Kross, Scarlett and Paul Ellering of the Final Testament at ringside. The teams immediately went after each other in the ring before the bell had rung. Frazer and Axiom hit multiple tope suicidas, attempting to knock AOP off their feet before the match started. After the bell finally rang, the champions started off the match fast, but were taken quickly to the ground throughout a picture-in-picture break by AOP. Following the commercial, Frazer tagged in and once again tried to take Akam off his feet with high-speed offense and knocked Razar off the apron and as he tried to get in the ring. As he attempted another dive, but he was caught on the outside by Razar. At one point, Frazer and Axiom hoisted Akam up onto the top rope, but Scarlett hung onto Akam's leg. The referee attempted to throw the rest of the Final Testament from around the ring. As the official was talking to Cross, AOP set up Axiom for a double team move. Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne interfered on the champion's behalf, helping Axiom get the pin and retain their titles. And finally, we got a bit of an update when it comes to Dijak in WWE. Now, Dijak, quite surprisingly, was called up to Monday Night Raw in the draft this past week, but many people wondered what that meant about his future with the company. Now, during this year's draft, several NXT talents were selected to join one of the company's 2 main roster brands, Raw and SmackDown, while the likes of Blair Davenport and Carmelo Hayes are headed to SmackDown. Kiana James, Ilya Dragunov, Lara Valkyria, and Dijak have been assigned to Raw. Despite being drafted to Raw, though, a new report has indicated that Dijak's future in WWE is not completely locked in, as his contract is still set to expire in June. According to Fightful Select, the former Retribution member, as of Tuesday morning, has not yet inked a new deal with WWE, nor has he been approached by WWE officials about a potential renewal. Nevertheless, both parties are reportedly expecting a deal to eventually be reached. The report also noted that Chief Content Officer Paul Triple H Levesque and WWE Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative Shawn Michaels have both personally endorsed Dijak. In regards to Dijak's upcoming move to Raw, WWE's creative team has not made concrete plans for him as of right now. They have, however, reportedly pitched a few ideas in the lead up to his call-up on night 2 of the draft. So what do you think about Dijak on Raw? What do you think that's going to look like? But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.